Hello everyone and welcome back to Railroads Online, and this will be the last episode in these live builds where I build through on the new splines, building out a new map. We've only got one industry left to connect, and that is the refinery, and it shouldn't take us too long to do that. And hello to the chat, we've got Alexander and Jared. So we'll get on and start building on these ones. First of all, we need to put some spots down for where our platforms will align up to. And we need to put that on one for here, because I'm pretty sure these don't line up exactly to hole 10 amounts. And I don't recall what setting it actually was. And I think that looks about right, 99. I'll put some pieces down here to line up to the platforms. Yeah, I actually slept in a little bit today. I didn't mean to sleep in quite so far, but I didn't wake up with the alarm. And then I had some other stuff to deal with after I woke up. I found that I've been banned from the Railroads Online discussion on Steam with no reason given, which is pretty much exactly what I left in my review for the game, was that if you speak out in any way about the game in a negative way, you get banned from the public spaces, and that's exactly what they did. Which that can't be a smart move for them, is to ban their content creators, you know, the people who freely advertise their game for them. Okay, let's add a little bit here extra on the end. And I'm pretty sure we can come through to about here with the track before it will collide with the pipes. And the same with this one, a little bit extra on the end. I don't want to go too far into there. Just enough that we can fit the extra line through. Now this one here, we'll just run a line out here so we know where we've got to line up to, and the same with this one. These will get deleted and replaced when we put the switches in there. I am going to do a shunt setup here. Yes, I agree. It is silly that they're starting to ban people for speaking out. And well, this is the first stream I've done since the big lockdown of all the Discord channels. And well, they didn't just archive them; they actually have deleted them. They are gone. I'll turn this switch around to face back the other way. Because we want to connect it at its turnout. Actually, I don't think we've come far enough out. That might be a little bit too close. So I'll add another little bit of rail on here, because we've got plenty of room. We may as well as use it. So we need to get a bit of a yard going on in here. We'll come out to about here, and then we'll turn it around. And well, I'm quite surprised they haven't banned me from the Discord yet. Either that, or when they were going through doing the banning, because I was offline and asleep, they haven't found me to be able to ban me. So I'll likely get banned from the Discord next. But I can't post any of this content up onto the... because I normally post the videos and everything up onto the... Steam community as well, and I can't post anything to the Steam community currently. Okay, now we should be able to put this in, and we want to go switch stand on the right and the turnout on the right. Well, the only thing I can think of for the reason that they banned me is because I told the truth about the state of the game where it comes to the updates, that they are a long way off of having a game or having an update that's ready to be pushed out to the public. And they kept saying 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and I've been saying that for about 2 months now, that it'd be out in 2 weeks. And nobody was seeing any progress on that. And well, there was a good reason why, is because they had nothing to show. I want that one, and we've come too far. We'll come back a bit, delete that one. Try again a bit shorter. We'll come way too short this time. Add a little bit more on here. This is just all guesswork, trying to get these to line up. You just keep adding a section until you get the turnout to line up with the piece. How close is that? We're only a little bit off. Yeah, the tech tree has been completely gutted, really. That's the only way to describe it. It's been gutted from the original tech tree that was going to be in the game. And that's definitely too far. So we'll delete that one. And we'll delete that little short one. We'll bring it back to about there. Try that. And we're still too far. Bring it back a little bit further. There we go. I'm quite happy with the position of that. Lines up quite nicely. So now we can remove that piece and that piece and connect these two together here. Rotate that around so it'll link. There we go. And this piece here can go out of the middle of here. And link that up onto there. Where's the link? There it is. Okay, now we've got to do that one more time to get it to line up to this one. Circle mode on so we can build a straight. I'm glad that didn't fit. The switch stand would have been where we don't want it. That's about there. Try again. Still got quite a way to go. Yes, the state of the dev build is very bad. Like, you can't even run a consist properly in it yet. Trying to play the game normally like I would, you would not be able to get a consist to work And you know, that's even without Farmer trying to do the crazy things he normally does. Oh, that was a lucky guess. Look at that. We're about just a very tiny little bit off. Hello, Michael. Okay, we'll try and work out where we need to be here, and it's only just a little bit past that end of that. Hopefully that'll get us a line up. Did we go too far? There's the end, there it is. And no, we still need to come out just a little bit further. Either that or we have actually connected to the wrong piece. And I more than likely can't get the bit I want to delete because it'll be on top. Actually seems to be better to go just that little bit longer and try and work backwards. And that's what we wanted. Now we're a little bit too far. Now we can take these bits out of the middle and make them just that little bit shorter to try and bring the switch back. And I've gotten stuck for the first time today. Spawn a climax and jump into it. Get it out of the way. Yes, they are making some very unusual decisions. In the dev team for Railroads Online. Things that you certainly would not expect them to do. We're back to where we were. It's not quite enough. I'm guaranteed I'll link to the wrong piece on here now. And I have a link to the wrong piece, which means this will be in exactly the same position it was just before. You can't build over the top, it just won't let you do it. If I try and get that bit, it deletes the wrong bit. Frustratingly do it over and over again. How did we go this time? We're just a little bit too far. And I'm going to say, yep, that's where I'm putting it. So I'm not moving it again from there. That's close enough for me. So delete all these little pieces here out of the middle. And now we can connect up between here and the switch. Circle mode off. And we can connect up between here and this platform. Now we We need to put a bit out the end of here. And how far forward can we come? Yes, and I see they still haven't fixed that. There's a micro valve wheel there hiding in the ground. And forward to about here, I reckon, because we've got lots of room up there to put the turnaround. We need to have quite a bit of length here before we'll go past the dip and we'll come over to here. Okay, now we need to put a switch on the end of here and then turn it around. Maybe we haven't put in enough room here. Let's put another switch on the end. So we just want to turn the speller around. Pointing back the other way. That's right, that seems to be what it is, Donald, is yeah, you're just not allowed to talk about the game anymore. And we'll connect from here to here. Again, so that it is actually connected. Circle mode off and link it. Now let's see how good I can do at lining these up. We want to go from here, and we need to put this on 50 centimeter increments. Circle mode on, please. Right. 2 meter length. It only gave us 3 ties. So I'll take it out and we'll try again. So you needed to give us 4 ties for a 2 meter length. There we go, 4 ties. And then we will put another switch on here. And that just points us in the right direction. And then we'll work back this direction from here. 2 meter length with 4 ties, very good. Now we want the switch stand on the right and the turnout on the left. I don't think it was worth $35 to start off with. With the amount of content that we currently have in the game, I would make the value of this game $5, and I can see it's only just going to get worse. And that puts our second lane in. We actually want to remove this piece and this piece. And that gives us a passing lane on here. Well, we all kind of had an inkling that this is what was going to happen to the game. Right back at the time when all of the original staff were removed from the game, when they all left. Because that was the point when we knew that it wasn't going to be a game about, a realistic game about Steam anymore, because he fired all the Steam specialists from the team. He didn't directly fire them, but yeah, in a pseudo roundabout way, he fired them because the pretty much said, well, we don't want the game to be a realistic Steam simulation anymore, and well, they weren't on board with that, so they left. Yeah, half the assets in the game are made by volunteers, and the other half are either free stuff off of the of Unreal, or they've been bought from other 3D assets places. Which is the amount of assets that are currently in the game do not justify the ticket price for the game currently. Where are we here? I'll put it straight on the end of here. I'll just put a switch for the moment so we can build the switch backwards. Because we need to have a turnout to the left and a switch stand on the left. And now we do need to put a short straight on here because we don't like to have things that don't link up properly. And it's just got to go back straight. This is going to be one of those fun curves that you've got to put in and get it just right. I wonder what will happen if I put that on there, how wide we'll go. Yeah, so we're going too wide off of there. So I'll delete that little bit of rail because we're just going to have to put this in with normal rail, I think. That's too close and that'll be too far away. So it's somewhere in between those points. Okay, it's saying, no, you can't put the track there. Oh, yep, no, yes, no, there we go. Go to ones and we need to very slowly bring it back in closer. Until we're somewhere near where we want to be. No, that's not going to work either. So we're going to have to come back to about here, I think. Put it in two pieces and bring that closer. Back in pretty much until it just touches, and this is the point here. I reckon 41 will do it. So we'll go from there. Then we'll put the second half of the corner in here. And move it out just a little bit wider. We should be able to stay pretty much even around the curve then. Yeah, that's much better. We don't have any switch stands on this side, so that's fine. To about there. Well, highball actually started from a lot of players being upset about the state of development of Railroads Online, and it started quite a while ago. And it's basically just a bunch of players that have gotten together and said, okay, well, let's try and make the same sort of game as Railroads Online, but we won't use their formula. We won't make it narrow gauge, and we'll keep it to a tighter time frame. So they're sort of only working over, the 1910s, 1920s, 1930s, and they're going to do it in standard gauge, and then basically make the game about logging. So it's logging railroads in the early 1900s to try give it just a little bit of distinction apart from Railroads Online. And where do we come forward to? About here, I reckon. Actually, we know where to come. We just need to look and see where's the change from straight to curved here. Can I see it? Can't see the join in the track. Let's look down the track and see if we can see it. Oh, it's way back here. There it is, right here. Well, that very well could be true, that it has just turned into a cash grab. And we may not even see a completed game anytime in the near future. Well, some of the things that were leaked after all the the current devs were removed from their roles. Some of the stuff that's come into the game is just comical. Like they want to put in a Bigfoot at random locations, and you've just got to ask yourself why. It's it's a little bit of a funny Easter egg, and it'll probably be funny the first time you see it, but the amount of coding that's got to go in to do it, I just don't think it's worth having that sort of thing in the game. Okay, that didn't work. That's got a bit of a funny bend in it there. What happens if we go straight mode? Oh, 50 back up to straight. Where are we pointed at? Obviously not straight. We've gone past the curve, that's why. What if we try and go straight over here? What do we get? Too far to the left. Okay, the best thing to do then, I think, here is to... Oh, definitely not build an old track. Is we'll try and get an alignment off of this piece of track so that we can make it straight to this piece. Oh. It just will not want a place where I want it to line up at along the edge. It says somewhere there or somewhere else. So what we'll use to line it up is we'll just grab this bit of rail. This will give a better idea of where we're pointing. And we're on ones. And yes, we can't get a perfect alignment off of this piece of track. But yes, we need better increments than degrees. And that's as close as we're going to get it, I think. And then we will delete this curve here. And I'm going to put another switch in here. This will just give me a little bit of a siding to put a... We need to work out where to put it at first. We'll just put a short piece of track in there and then put a switch on the end of it. Turn out left, stand left. Short piece of track on 50. And no, we won't get a big boy. The at release surprise is a golden Betsy. That was in the leaked roadmap. And that's comical. That's the only way to describe that. It's comical. And we'll just put a short piece of track on there. And this just gives me a little siding down here to be able to park a shunting locomotive in. Yes, a golden Betsy, like we're all meant to bow down and worship it at the end of the game. At the release of the game. Reminds me of Moses and the golden calf. I've gotten stuck. Shift 9. Got it. Put that on all, if it lets me. There we go. Now we're on the all. And delete a locomotive. Now we'll try and build a straight line along here. And it's not going to go straight, it wants to curve back the other way. And of course, one increment is too far. So I'll have to go for a free place mode. And yeah, if we turn that either way, it's going to put a curve in there. happens if we just link up and we don't get it straight? So delete the piece I'm on, delete that piece. Let's try again. That's placed a bit better of an alignment. Link up to that to put the curve back in. And link up between here and here and put the curve back in again. Okay, that should give us a spot here where we can unload this way and then pull forward and push the empties back down this line until we've got them all unloaded at these two shunting ones, and this one here we can pull into, and we've gotten stuck again. Hop into a tumbling climax. And on here we can pull through with the tankers on this line and then pull and come back around with the locomotive to turn around. That should be everything on this side all put in, except for stoppers, of course. Not that we really need stoppers because you can't derail. Okay, up to the end of here. And we'll get rid of that. Put in a short piece of track. And we're building straight. Yes, 0 meters. How far out do we want to come? How much room have we got? Well, we don't want to run off the edge. So we probably only want to come out to about here. And then we'll put a turntable on the end. Of course, the turntable's not actually going to function because we don't have turntables in the new splines yet. It's just somewhere in as a place marker of this is where we need to put one. And we'll go around and build the loading side. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. We can sacrifice Bigfoot to Betsy. Oh, all the stuff from Heist's Q&As were well and truly thrown into the dustbin well before now. We want bridge decking, and we need to line up to this platform. We're on ones, and I'm pretty sure it was 99. Yes, all the stuff from Heist's Q&As and his tech tree videos, pretty much everything from when he was part of the volunteer team there on the Railroads Online, everything from that will now be disregarded, is the only way to put it. They have changed everything. Okay, and then from here we want to put a short straight out. And we need to put a switch. Then another switch on the end, turn around, delete the one in the middle. Stand left, that one to the left. This piece back in here because it's no longer linked. Connect that up onto there. Onto 50 centimeter increments and circle mode on. I want to put in a 2 meter piece here with 4 tires, hopefully. Yep. And a switch to mark the angle back the other way. And circle mode on with what size curve do we reckon we want to put in here to get back over to there? I reckon we'll need a 40 metre, so I'll bring this back to 120. And we also need room for a switch. So I'll make it 100 metres. And that should give us enough room to put a switch in and turn around and come back again. Maybe. We'll see. See whether or not I've done my maths right. Put the switch back in, facing the other way, which is that one. And then off the end of here. On a 40 metre curve. And if my maths is right, this should meet up pretty much lined up to where a Chonet would be. And look at that. I can actually do maths. Yes, I have to agree with that. There was a lot of stuff on that tech tree. Some of it was maybe a little bit too much. Some of it was sort of replications of other things, and probably didn't quite need to have as many as what they had. But, you know, 95% of what was on there sort of would have been really nice to have in the game. But yes, I think that they have axed more than 90, more than that amount from the new tech tree that, of course, they haven't released. And well, they haven't released a tech tree because they don't have one yet. Otherwise, it would have been leaked when they banned all the existing team members that got kicked on the last little purge. Which tells us that they don't actually have a finalised tech tree yet for the current team. Oh, hello, Captain Robert. And delete this tiny little section of 4 off the end. And that gives us a run around track here so that we can leave the rail cars here, take the locomotive up to the turntable, turn it round and come back and connect back onto the other end of it. And we probably don't need this length of track here because you only have like 4 or 5 wagons at a time to get barrels. And well, if you ever need to check the performance of your game, use something like Rose or the Railroad Studio and put 10 or 20 oil barrels on each one of these. And then while your game's actually busy, run over here and see whether or not your oil barrel runs to the end of the chute. And that gives you a good indication on whether or not your game is actually running happy in your computer or not, whether you've got too much rolling stock. Something else Barmer and I found with when we were testing things out is the lettering on the side of your rail cars and locomotives. If you use the maximum count for your lettering on the sides of the cars, it actually uses more performance to have the lettering running around on the side of your cars. So you'll get better performance. Like if you've got a little bit of a weak computer, you'll get a better performance out of the game if you do not letter your cars or locomotives. Oh, he did actually do that. Hello, TL Hart. Don't normally see you here on my streams. Okay, I must have missed where he leaked that. Because yes, that's something I would have grabbed a save of if I'd seen it. And somewhere here, we'll just put it a somewhere here where it'll line up onto the turntable because we can't put the turntable in yet. So that means this piece here and that other piece there will need to get replacement. We do actually have a working turntable, which I can't see us getting a working turntable because he can't work out how to disconnect the actor from the spline yet. And I'm pretty sure that's working out there in the middle. So we'll just grab that, put another one here on the end, delete this one here out of the middle. Yes, we will have to call the game Bro now. Brazilian Railroads Online. Well, it's not like Brazil doesn't have a colourful rail history, because it does. They've got lots of interesting things down there in Brazil. It's just dead. It doesn't fit into an American railroad game. And this was set to be 40. Did I put that through to the wrong spot? Okay. That does line up, so we can just go link between the two places. Link. Circle mode off. And link. And that should be the entirety that we need here at the refinery for a yard. We've got enough room there to be able to have pipes and consist of pipes and lumber at the same time and be able to shuffle them in. Not that you really need it because we can hold 100 pipes here. You just dump off a full load of pipes and have a lot of pipes, then you only need to shunt in. You've got to have a little bit of a supply of lumber sitting here and can control the outputs with the lumber. Okay, let's get working on the bit of line to connect this back up into the main line. How tight do we have to go to fit around through here? We'll use our maximum amount of curve that we can get. Out to about here, I reckon. So I might come in one more. I'm going to be quite clipping out that far. Okay, and we'll put a short straight here on the end because we need to change the direction. And I like to come up from this other side over here because there's a nice little low spot where you can get up into the... And put it on 10s and slowly bring this over until it starts to disappear. And that's the spot there we need to look at. Bring it back out of the ground a little bit. Okay, then we'll come tighter around the curve. That's a little bit too tight. We don't want to be that. We'll try 40. Where do we want to aim at over here? We are aiming to come up this point here. So we need to put this curve into about here, I reckon. Yeah, that's nearly what I'm expecting to happen. Is that it's the same thing as what he did with American railroads. Is when it came time to get out a new game, the big port to Unreal, instead of making it an update for actual American railroads, he put out a complete new game and basically made everyone buy the game again. And I wouldn't put it past him to do the same thing again with Railroads Online. As give us Railroads Online too, or give it to us again in a under a different name. And we'll come to about here, because from about here we'll start to put the transition to go down the hill. We want to be 1.5. That'll get us nicely. We will come just a little bit tighter into the curve, I think. So we want to aim over here. About this direction. Okay, now for these next pieces, I'm actually going to put them in one at a time with the stone wall, because it's easier with the stone wall to see where you are aligned to the edge of the hill, because I would want to sort of follow the edge of the hill down here. So we'll put that into there at that, and then we'll come back for a straight. With a change of direction. And then we'll curve the track around this way. Too far. 1 to 10s. And 2 about there. Put on 1s. Maybe we can get it just a little bit wider before we disappear into the ground. There we go. That's the point of where we want to be. Now back for a straight, because we're going to change the direction. He hasn't brought out any official announcement yet. All he's done is basically gone through and banned all the people that are complaining. Which, yes, I'm one of them. He's banned me from the Steam workshop. I can't upload pictures or videos anymore or comment on any of the forums on Steam. Which is, that's a smart thing to do, is, ban the content creators that quite literally advertise the game for free for you. Start swinging this back in the other way. The ones we're going to come out just a little bit further. There we go. Follow the edge of this hill around. There, and then we've got to come out just a little bit wider. Put it on 10s, come out faster. Okay, it wants to be a straight. Anyway, we'll put it in as a straight. All the way down to this point. Yeah, no, that's where it's starting to disappear off. So to about there. And now we can start curving it back in again, I think. That's what it seems like. He's gone into panic mode and he's just panic banning everyone, trying to keep his mistakes under wraps. Or, to hide what Jail or whatever his name has done. Our Brazilian friend who likes to wants to take over the game. He's certainly not doing his own reputation any favours. He's not doing the name of the game any favours either. Because yeah, banning your content creators damages the product, and that's eventually going to come back and bite him on the behind. Okay, we want to put a bridge in here and come across until we meet up with this side here. Yes, that's exactly right. You should be spending the time actually working on the game and not worrying about what people are saying about the game. Because if the game is doing what the game should be doing, the public perception will be good. That's how it works. He doesn't need to do any sort of damage control if the game is speaking for itself. Ooh, clip that just a little bit too close anyway. And change your direction here. Not too far, put it on 10s. A little bit wider. A little bit wider. To the point of where we don't disappear into the ground. And I think we've gotten a little bit too close to the ground here. So we'll actually bring this back up to about here. Actually what we might do is we might come up to 1% grade. Where does that bring us to? Back down to 1.5. We'll just bring this curve in a little bit tighter for a bit and put a short straight in there. Not too tight. About there. Go for another piece. To about there. Now I'm just going to grab a piece of this. We'll see how far off we are from lining up here at the other side. Circle mode off. How far are we away from lining up here? And we want to be up level. And yeah, see now we actually want to start putting in our transition between here and there. Circle mode off. We want to pull this back around a bit straighter. And we actually want to go change to down 1% for this piece. Oh, we're definitely putting in a straight here. Through to about there. Up to 1.5%. To about there. And now we can start curving back to the right again. About there. And now we'll come up level. And how far off do we miss now over here? We're actually a little bit low. So this last piece here, we'll take it back out again. And we'll put it in at level. And let's have a look now and see where we line up to. that's a little bit better. So it should be just a case of now link up this last two pieces together. So we go from there, turn circle mode off, and link it onto here. And it should give us a nice little S curve that works its way around through there, and that looks quite good. I'm happy with that. So we'll just go back and rebuild this line through. We need to change this piece here because we need a short bit of groundwork in here. We need to work out where we were going. So circle mode on, and it was 1.5 down. We just need to align this back onto here. We just need to put this piece back in two sections. And it was lined up to there. So it gives us a short little bit of abutment here, 5 meters long. And now we can put it in with, if we can get a link, show me the link, there it is. And now we can turn circle mode off, link, perhaps not, now we got a link. We didn't want the help, we wanted the menu. And we'll delete that piece and put it back in with gravel. Delete this piece and put it back in with gravel. It's better to actually leave the grass off radiation. You turn on the grass when you're going to run the train. It's an absolute pain to have it on when you're trying to build the track. So you turn it off to build the track, turn it on to run the trains. Tires on fire. I actually can't bring on guests. My internet speed does not allow me to be the host. So the only option I have is to be guests on other people's streams, which I do quite often. I was on one of Nix's streams recently, and I'm always on Mickley's and Heist's streams when they do something with Railroads Online. But I myself cannot host. My upload speed is just not enough to do both hosting and streaming at the same time. In fact, it's too slow to even be a host at all. Okay, we need to delete this piece here out of here. And work out what it was that we put in here. Because we forgot to put that little bit of a transition into and it's 370 we put it in at, so we'll put it back to about, that is correct, isn't it? Yep. So put it back into about there, and we'll put this piece in here and connect it up to here. If it gives me a link, can I get a link? Show me the link. Okay, well, don't show me the link. Oh, I found just the spot. Line it up a little bit straighter. There we go. Now we got a link there. And we'll take that piece out and replace it with gravel. Oh, I'm well and truly in the outback radiation. And I wasn't even able to do streams until a little while ago that I managed to get a really big antenna that I can hook up on and connect over mobile devices. Because the DSL has got a 500 kilobyte upload speed, which definitely does not support streaming. So I was unable to stream, and any videos I did took me half a day to upload. Because I'm even outside of the cell phone signal areas, there isn't a tower within reach without me using a really big antenna. Yeah, it's definitely easier to build the map with the trees off. You can see where you're going, run fast between the places where you need to. Much easier to do with the trees off, and it takes nothing to remove the trees from the map. It's basically one click in Sharidan's Treeinator tool, and it's one click to put them all back again. But I do prefer to use the rose tool to put them back. The rose tool does a better job of putting the trees in around the industries. Because the Leaf went through and selected individual trees that he wanted to remove instead of just making a circle around the industry, which makes it look much better around the actual industries. But there's like, you can't use the Treeinator to trim the trees back to the track yet. None of the third-party tools work with the new splines yet. So to put the trees back, then you've got to manually run around the map and delete, cut down all the trees off the track, which will be a job that I do on this map off camera, because nobody wants to watch Tree Cutting Simulator. And even worse, I don't even really want to make Tree Cutting Simulator. Ooh, not liking that bit. Maybe work out what corner we've got in here, and I might put this in a couple of pieces. So circle mode on, and bring this curve in closer. There it is. Onto ones. What was the curve put in at? 84. So I'll bring it through to about here. And I'll put another piece in here. This will be the piece that stays as stone wall. And then I'll put a piece in here, and this is the... Oh, we don't even need to put that last piece in. We'll just go straight for the gravel. Put the last piece in there. And yes, because we've got the end bits on it now, it actually blends nicely in. And delete that bit out of there. The new spline build tools are really good in most ways. There's a few little things that you can't do with them that we used to be able to do with the old building tools. But overall, they are a bigger improvement in the ability to build your tracks into the map and build them into the map quickly. Let's have a look here. I have built the refinery and linked it up to the mainline, and it has taken me 1 hour and 5 minutes, as well as talking to you guys in the middle of all that. And yeah, that should be good there now. So that's all finished, and what do I do to finish off? I get stuck in the ground. So we'll grab ourselves a climax to get out. Let me delete it. There we go. Yes, all links should be made here. We will run back over to the main yard because we need to build the western side of the main yard, and that is the only thing left on the map to build. Which pretty much means it has taken me 20 hours to build out the entire map in the new splines, which in the old splines is a week, week and a half, 2 weeks worth of work to do the whole map out. The thing I don't like about the new splines is I don't like how the trains work on them. And there's no reason that these could not have been put in and made as physics objects and be, both physics objects and actors following the spline at the same time. And why they're not like that completely baffles me. We want to be on grid 100 because I need to get this back straight in a hurry. And then we want to be on grid 50. We just want to pull out a 2 meter section here. That hopefully gives us 4 ties. It does. And run back to the other end of here. And do the same thing. Four ties, very good. Yeah, they got a lot more sound issues than just realistic chopping to sort out. Connect more than 2 locomotives together and one of them doesn't make any sounds anymore. Or all of them don't make any sounds except for one. So they got more problems than just having the chuffing sounds being realistic. And yes, all the realistic chuffing sounds came from heights. So unless they're going to go out and record locomotives themselves, we're going to end up with the same sound over all the locomotives. And that's pretty close. We're a little bit off there. But that's because we can't measure this piece here in properly. Okay, now this gives us this is a service lane. Okay, I just want to put a piece on the end of here so I know how much room we've got to work with. And make it straight. That's just a temporary piece. Now we'll come along here and put in some facilities along here. First one is a firewood depot. And I will realign and reposition this with the railroad studio. And now I think we need to come down just a little bit further. So delete that one. So we have to be able to get around it to service the back side of it. Yes, and that's a bit better, and now I'll get the curve to match in around on that other side. And the next thing we need here is nothing out of that menu. On facilities, you need a water tower. And water tower with the new splines, you line the footboard up just underneath the edge of the gravel. And that should line up neatly to drop the water in the middle of the track, and it does. No, the fast run, it's handy when you're building, but it's dead speed, and I dare say it will get removed when they actually work out that it should get removed. Okay, now this one here is not quite as easy to put in. You sort of need to have a marker for it. Because you can't put it all the way out here. This here's actually got to line up here on this rail. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put it in there like that. And then I'm going to use some old groundwork. Maybe. Okay, I know what to do. Let's just delete all of that. And we'll come to the end of here. And we'll just grab stuff with no underneath it. And we will come and we will line it up to just here. And it won't let me place it. It won't let me place it. Brilliant. So we'll just put the normal stuff through then. To here. And link on, can I get this to place? Now it places. And now I should be able to delete that and put it back in again, and it should let us put it on the ground. And the trick is we line it up here onto the rail where we want it, and then hold the mouse still, line it up again because I bumped the mouse. Then we walk sideways and plonk it down. And now let's put a piece of track over the top of that and see how well we lined it up, which is pretty good. Yes, I'm not particularly interested in putting the extended into my computer because of basically the core of what extended uses to do what it does. It essentially is cheat engine. And just about every single antivirus out there sees it as a unwanted program. So yeah, I'd rather just not have it in my computer. Okay, now alignment for here should be, okay, it's not. What did I align it as? Or do we just have a guess alignment? Whatever fit from north to south. It looks like it's that case. And yeah, that looks like it's just going to have to be close enough. And we'll put a piece here, circle mode on. Piece here at the other end, tells us where to stop. Delete that piece. And we'll connect from there, circle mode off. Okay, don't turn it off, we'll turn it off after we stop moving, because it won't let you use the track building controls while you're actually moving. And connect that onto there and we'll get a nice smooth curve into there. The map is supposed to be a fictitious place that is loosely based around the northwest of the US. So, you know, pick a state, any state. One of them will be the right state. And we'll come through to, actually, we might do a little bit of a cheat thingy here. We'll put that in there. We'll see where it lines up to. And we'll put this one here in here. And we'll come back and delete this one. Put it in again as a straight. And pull it up just short of there. We'll go to the edge of the groundworks. That should be a nice point to line it up. And put another bit here on the end. And repeat the same thing that we just did with this one. Some way that we just line up here at the edge of the groundworks. So about there. And then we'll delete this piece here and put a curve between these, and it should build in as a reasonably nice smooth curve from one to the other. And there we go, that made a nice curve. And well, of course, we could put some engine houses and whatnot in here. Well, I don't really use them, but I've got left room here that you could put extra engine houses in here. And there's straights here and along here that you can get turns off of these lines to line up into engine houses. So I'm going to call that, this map is finished being built as far as I need to build it. There's probably a few links and things that I've missed in places where you're not going to find them until you actually run the locomotive over the tracks and it just decides to stop. And you've got to back it off of the spline, take that section of spline out and put it back in again. Generally in spots where you have a switch and you've taken a switch out and you've put the switch back in again, that breaks the links between the track, and yes, you must have a continuous spline with no breaks in it for the new train system to follow along the spline. Well, no crossovers are in. We can do the crossovers. Crossovers are just straight up the track ignoring itself or ignoring any other piece of track, because that's what this here is here. This uses the new version of crossovers. And yes, the spline that's you're following ignores the spline you're crossing, and that's pretty much how they work in the new system. Which, yes, if they made this as a physics object, that would not work, and I've got a feeling that's why he didn't do it, is he couldn't do the procedural switches, the procedural crossovers, if they were physics objects. I'll just grab a quick drink there. So yes, that's more than likely why he has not put in that these are physics objects so that you can use the old trains on them, and it's got to do with trying to put in the procedural switches and procedural cross tracks instead of actually going back and saying, rightio, we'll have switch objects and cross track objects. And well, if you look in the leaked roadmap, he's actually put in a whole list of new switch objects, but he hasn't put in the cross-track object with all different angles on it, which if he had put that in, he could turn this track back into being physics objects. And well, that'd make a lot more of the community happy, is if this track actually worked in as a if it were physics objects and not just actor following the spline, because yeah, there's just no gameplay left when you've got an actor following the spline. If you can't detach the actor from the spline, there's no derails. You just set the train to where you want it to go and run to where you want it to go and wait for the train to get there. It can't possibly derail. Nothing can happen to it along the way. And well, on these new spines, these switches actually work as spring switches. You can drive over them the back way. You can't derail on them. And then when you reverse over them, they go the direction that they're lined to. So yes, when you head at them from this direction, they go the direction they're lined. And if you head at them from this direction, they will not stop you. You'll just go through the switch. Well, that is pretty much all that there is to stream on building the map. I have built out the entire map. Total has taken me about 20 and a little bit hours, I'd estimate. Other people probably won't be able to build it out quite as quickly as what I have, but it will be definitely quicker than and straighter than building in the old spines. The building system is good. So thanks for watching, everyone. And I will catch you in the next video, which will more than likely be me back on the old splines and just running some trains for the sake of running some trains. See you all later.